Jaewon stood in the biodome, checking the soil moisture of his tomato plants when the alarm went off. The sharp sound echoed through Frontier 7, making him jump. He dropped his water container and ran toward the command center. His heart pounded in his chest. Alarms on a deep space station never meant anything good, Captain. Ansal was already at the main console when Jaewon arrived. The screen showed a vessel approaching their position. It was unlike anything in the human database. The ship looked like a crystal sculpture floating through space, catching starlight and bending it into rainbow patterns. "What is it?" Jaewon asked, standing beside Dr. Yina, who was recording everything. "First contact," Hansel said quietly. "This is actually happening." The crew watched in silence as the alien vessel moved closer. It did not fire weapons. It did not make threatening movements. Instead, it sent a signal. The communication system translated it into Korean, English, and Chinese simultaneously. "We come in peace. We seek knowledge exchange." 3 days later, the Luminans came aboard Frontier 7. Jaewon had never seen anything so beautiful and strange. They looked almost human in shape, but their skins shimmered like mother of. Their eyes had no whites, just swirling colors that changed with their moods. When they moved, they seemed to float rather than walk. Princess Valaris was the youngest of the delegation. She wore simple robes compared to the others, and she looked around the station with open curiosity. The other Luminans seemed bored or polite, but she touched everything, asked questions about everything, and her eyes sparkled with genuine interest. Jaewon was assigned to show them the biodome. It was the only part of the station that felt alive, full of earth plants growing under artificial sunlight. When the Luminans entered, most of them wrinkled their noses at the smell of soil and growing things. But Valaris walked straight to the tomato plants and knelt down. "These are alive," she said, her voice like music. "You keep them alive here, so far from their home world." "Yes," Jaewon replied, kneeling beside her. "They remind us of Earth. They make us feel less alone." She looked at him then, really looked at him. Her eyes shifted from blue to soft gold. "You understand loneliness?" It was not a question. Somehow, she knew. Jaewon felt warmth spread through his chest, comfortable and strange at the same time. He later learned this was her telepathic field, the way Luminans sensed emotions. "Don't you?" he asked. "Even surrounded by your people?" Valaris smiled, sad and knowing. "Especially then." Over the following weeks, Valaris returned to the biodome every day. She said she was studying Earth biology, but Jaewon suspected she just wanted somewhere quiet to think. They talked while he worked. She told him about Stellara, her home world, where everything was perfect and orderly. Cities made of crystal, music that played on the wind, technology so advanced that Luminans barely needed to speak aloud anymore. "It sounds wonderful," Jaewon said. "Pruning a pepper plant sounds like a museum," Valaris corrected. "Beautiful, but lifeless. Nothing grows wild there. Nothing is messy or unpredictable. I used to sneak into the old forests when I was young, the few places we left untouched. My tutors hated it. They said a princess should not dirty herself with primitive nature." Jaewon laughed. "I grew up in Seoul. My parents wanted me to be a doctor or engineer, something respectable. Instead, I studied plants and ended up in space. They still don't understand why. Because you see value in things others overlook," Valaris said softly. "Because you believe keeping something alive is worth the effort, even when it would be easier to let it die." He had never thought of it that way, but she was right. He looked at her, this alien princess, who somehow understood him better than most humans did. Their friendship grew. Jaewon taught her the names of earth plants in Korean. She taught him Luminon philosophy and showed him how to sense emotions through touch. When their hands met, he felt her loneliness, her curiosity, her quiet rebellion against a life planned out before she was born. Then came the solar flare. The station's warning system gave them only 10 minutes. Everyone scrambled to reach the reinforced shelter areas. Jaewon was sealing the biodome when he heard the scream through the telepathic link. He had been developing with Velars. She was trapped in the observation deck. A support beam had fallen, blocking the door. The radiation would hit that section first. J-1 did not think. He ran. Hansel shouted at him through the communicator, ordering him to get to safety, but Jaewon switched it off. He reached the observation deck as the first radiation warnings turned red. The beam was heavy, but fear gave him strength. He lifted it enough for Valeris to squeeze through. Her robes tore. Her perfect skin had a cut on her arm, leaking silver blood. "Go," he shouted, pushing her toward the shelter. They ran together. The hallway lights flickered. The radiation alarm became a constant shriek. Jaewon's legs burned. His lungs screamed. Valeris grabbed his hand, and suddenly he felt her strength flowing into him through their connection. They burst into the shelter, just as the doors sealed, in the cramped space. Surrounded by the other crew members, Valeris and Jaewon collapsed against the wall. Their hands were still linked. She was shaking, her eyes wide with something that looked like shock. "You could have died," she whispered. "Why did you risk your life for me?" Jaewon, still catching his breath, gave her a tired smile. "Because you matter. Because letting you die would have been wrong. But I am not your species. I am not even your responsibility. Does that matter?" The question hung between them. In Luminan culture, logic ruled everything. Sacrifice without benefit was considered foolish. But Jaewon's action had been pure instinct, pure emotion, pure humanity. Valeris looked at their joined hands. Her eyes shifted through colors he had never seen before. "No," she said finally. "It does not matter at all." 2 weeks later, the Luminan delegation prepared to leave. Their mission was complete. They had gathered data, established basic diplomatic relations, and promised future contact. Valeris stood in the biodome one last time, looking at the plants she had come to love. Jaewon found her there. He carried a small pot with a tomato seedling. "For your journey," he said, offering it to her. She took it carefully, cradling it like something precious. "They will think I am strange, keeping a primitive plant. Let them think it." Valeris smiled, but tears gathered in her alien eyes. "I have never felt truly seen before. My tutor saw a student. My father sees an heir. The court sees a symbol. But you see me?" Jaewon wanted to say so many things. That he would miss her. That these weeks had meant more than he could express. That somehow, impossibly, he had fallen in love with someone from another world. Instead, he took her hand one last time. Their connection flared bright and warm. In that touch, everything they could not say passed between them. "Will I see you again?" she asked. "I don't know," Jaewon admitted. "But I hope so." When the Luminan ship departed, Jaewon watched from the observation deck until it disappeared among the stars. His chest ached, with an emptiness he had never felt before. He did not know that Valeris aboard her ship felt the same pain. He did not know that their brief connection had created something unprecedented. A bond that would not break just because they were apart. He did not know that she would come back, but somewhere in his heart. He hoped 6 months passed, but they felt like years to Jaewon. He returned to Earth after his rotation ended, expecting to feel happy about coming home. Instead, everything felt wrong. The colors seemed dull. Food had no taste. At night, he dreamed of crystalline cities and eyes that shifted like rainbows. Worse than the dreams were, the sensations. Sometimes, in the middle of the day, Jaewon would feel sudden joy that was not his own. Other times, waves of sadness crashed over him for no reason. He knew, somehow, that these feelings belonged to Valeris. Dr. Yina visited him in Seoul. She brought scanning equipment and a concerned expression. After running tests for 3 hours, she sat down heavily across from him. "You have a resonance bond," she said. "It is extremely rare, even among Luminans. Your telepathic connection with Valeris did not fade when she left. It grew stronger. What does that mean?" "It means you are connected on a level we do not fully understand. You share emotions across light years. If the bond continues to deepen, you might share thoughts, memories, even physical sensations." Jaewon's hand shook. "Can it be broken?" "I don't know, maybe, but breaking it might kill one or both of you." That night, Jaewon could not sleep. He sat on his apartment balcony, looking at the stars, wondering which one was Stellara. He felt Valaris out there, felt her loneliness matching his own. His younger brother Taesoon worked as a communications engineer for the International Space Agency. When Jae-won told him everything, Taesoon listened without judgment. "You want to talk to her?" Taesoon said. It was not a question. "I need to know if she feels this too." Taesong smiled. "Then let me help." It took 3 weeks to establish a secure quantum communication channel. The technology was new, expensive, and technically illegal for personal use. Taesoon did it anyway. When the first message came through, Jae-won's heart nearly stopped. "I thought I was going insane," Valaris's message read. "Feeling your emotions across the void. Knowing you were there, but unable to reach you? Jae-won, what is happening to us?" They began talking every day. Messages at first, then audio. Finally, video calls that cost a fortune in energy, but were worth every credit. Valaris looked tired. The light in her eyes seemed dimmed. "My father has arranged my marriage," she told him one night, "to Lord Theron. The ceremony is in 8 months. Jae-won felt like someone had punched him in the chest. "Do you love him?" "Love is not required in Luminan marriages. We bond telepathically, join our mental patterns, create stability for future generations. It is practical, logical, but is it what you want?" Valaris was quiet for a long moment. "I want to see your tomato plants again. I want to feel earth soil under my hands. I want to sit with you in that biodome and talk about nothing important until we fall asleep. That is what I want. Then don't marry him. If I refuse, there will be consequences. Political alliances will break. My father will lose face before the council. And Theron will not forget the insult. Valaris, listen to me. If you accept this marriage bond, what happens to our connection?" Her silence told him everything. "Well, it will sever it," she finally whispered. "The Luminan marriage bond is absolute. It rewrites mental patterns. There will be no room for you in my mind anymore." Jae-won stood up, pacing his small apartment. "Then we fight this. There has to be a way." Over the next months, Jae-won researched desperately. He found a program studying human-alien biological compatibility. The scientists were excited to have a volunteer with an existing Luminan bond. The treatments were experimental and painful, designed to make his biology more compatible with Luminan telepathy. Each injection felt like fire in his veins. Each session left him exhausted. But slowly his connection with Valaris grew clearer. He could send her emotions intentionally now. Sometimes late at night, he could even send her thoughts. Valaris, meanwhile, was preparing for her wedding. She sent him images through their bond. The beautiful prison of the royal palace. The cold, logical face of Theron. The disappointment in her father's eyes whenever she showed reluctance. "He knows something is wrong," she told Jae-won. "My father. He sees that I am distracted. That my mind is elsewhere." "Where is your mind?" "With you. Always with you." 3 months before the wedding, everything changed. Valaris was supposed to attend the ceremonial binding, small ritual where she and Theron would begin their mental synchronization. She stood before the Luminan High Court, her father watching with stern pride. Like Theron reaching out his hand, she did not take it. "I cannot do this," Valaris said, her voice clear and strong. "I have already bonded with another." The court erupted. Theron's face twisted with rage and humiliation. The Emperor stood, his power filling the room like thunder. "What are you saying?" her father demanded. "I bonded with a human named Jae-won. Our connection is real, permanent, and deeper than any political arrangement. I will not sever it. I will not marry Lord Theron." Watching through a secret transmission that Taesong had arranged, felt Valaris's fear and determination flowing through their bond. He wished he could be there to stand beside her. The Emperor's voice was ice. "You would choose a primitive alien over your duty to your people. Over your family? Over your empire? I choose truth over tradition. I choose connection over obligation. And yes, I choose him." Theron stepped forward. "She has been corrupted by human influence. Their emotions are like diseases, infecting rational minds. She needs cleansing, not choice." The court argued for hours. Some supported Valeris, especially younger Luminans who believed in personal freedom. Others demanded she be punished for her disrespect. Through it all, the Emperor remained silent, his face unreadable. Finally, he spoke. "Valeris, daughter of my house, I give you 1 year. Complete the bond with Lord Theron within that time, or you will be exiled from Stellara. Your titles will be stripped. Your name will be removed from the royal lineage. You will have no place among your people. And if I choose exile, then you are no daughter of mine." The transmission ended. Jaewon sat in darkness, feeling Valeris's heart break through their bond. She had just lost everything for him. Her home, her family, her entire life. His communicator chimed. A message from Valeris, just 3 words, "I am coming." Jaewon's hands trembled as he typed his response. "Are you sure?" "I have never been more sure of anything. I would rather have a real life with you than a perfect lie without you. Wait for me, Jaewon. I will find my way to Earth. How? I will steal a ship if I must. I will cross hostile space. I will do whatever it takes. Just promise me something. Anything. Promise you will not abandon me. Promise that when I arrive, you will still want this." "Still want me?" Jaewon looked at the stars through his window. Somewhere out there, Valeris was preparing to give up everything to reach him. How could he promise anything less? "I promise," he wrote. "I will be here. I will wait for you. And when you arrive, we will face whatever comes together." He felt her relief and love flowing through their bond, warm like sunlight. "Then I am already on my way," she replied. Jaewon called Taesung immediately. "She is coming to Earth. We need to prepare. The government, the military, everyone will try to stop this or use her." Taesung grinned. "Then we better make sure she gets here safely." "What do you need?" "Everything. I need everything." As Jaewon began planning, he felt Valeris moving through the palace, gathering supplies, making secret arrangements. Through their bond, he experienced her determination and her fear. She was really doing this. She was leaving behind her entire civilization for a human she had known for only a few weeks. The weight of that sacrifice terrified him. What if he was not worth it? What if she regretted her choice? But then he felt her emotions clearly, sent deliberately through their bond. Love, hope, certainty. She knew what she was doing, and she was not afraid. Valeris escaped Stellara on a cold night when 3 moons hung in the sky. She had help from friends in the palace who believed in her right to choose. They disabled security systems while she slipped into the royal hangar and took a small diplomatic vessel. The ship was fast, well armed, and had enough supplies for a 3-month journey. As she launched into space, alarms screamed behind her. She did not look back. Through their bond, Jaewon felt her fear and exhilaration. He was in a government building in Geneva, standing before the United Nations Council on Alien Relations. Ambassador Park Ji-won sat beside him, her face calm but her hands gripped tightly together. "Princess Valeris is coming to Earth," Ji-won told the council. "She is seeking asylum. I am asking you to grant it." The room erupted in argument. Representatives from different countries shouted in different languages. Some saw opportunity in having a Luminan princess. Others saw only danger. "You're asking us to risk war with an advanced alien empire," the American representative said. "For what? A love story?" "For the principle that people should choose their own lives," Jaewon replied. "Is that not what humanity has always fought for?" Ambassador Park Ji-won stood. "The Luminan Empire is powerful, but they value logic. If we present a logical argument for asylum, they may accept it, especially if we have evidence that Princess Valeris bonded genuinely and permanently. And if they do not accept it," the Chinese representative asked, "then we make a choice about what kind of civilization we want to be." The debate lasted hours. Meanwhile, in space, Valeris was running. Commander Hayrin, one of the Luminan Empire's best military officers, had been sent to retrieve her. Hayrin was efficient, skilled, and absolutely loyal to her duty, or so everyone thought. The first battle happened near the Jupiter station. Valeris's ship was faster, but Hayrin's cruiser had better weapons. They danced through space, firing and dodging. Valeris used every trick she had learned. Every secret passage through asteroid fields, every gravitational slingshot she could manage. J1 collapsed during a meeting, feeling the impact as a weapon struck Valeris's ship. The pain was not his, but he experienced it anyway. Dr. Yenna rushed to his side. "The bond is getting stronger," she said, checking his vital signs. "You are sharing more than emotions now. You are sharing physical sensations." "Is she hurt?" "Not badly. But J1, if she dies, you might die too." The bond has become that deep. He already knew. He felt it in his bones. Valeris sent him a message through their quantum link. "I am okay. Just a damaged shield. Hayren is good, but I am better. Are you sure about this?" J1 asked, not for the first time. "Ask me again, and I will turn this ship around," she teased, but he felt her underlying certainty. She was absolutely sure. Across Earth, the news spread. An alien princess was fleeing her empire to be with a human scientist. Some called it the greatest love story ever told. Others called it a political disaster. Social media exploded with opinions. People argued in the streets. Some humans began protesting outside government buildings, demanding Earth grant her asylum. Taesoon coordinated with sympathetic contacts in various space agencies. They tracked Valeris's progress, warned her of Luminan patrol routes, and helped her find safe places to refuel. An underground network of believers in bond freedom helped from the Luminan side, providing information and supplies. But Theron was not idle. He convinced the Emperor that Valeris had been mentally compromised by human influence. Luminan warships mobilized. They claimed they were rescuing a sick princess from her delusions. "The public message from Stellara was clear," returned Valeris, "and faced no consequences. Refuse, and the Luminan Empire would reconsider all treaties with humanity." Earth's government wavered. The technology-sharing agreements were worth billions. Medical advances from Luminan science had saved millions of lives. Could they really risk all that? J1 made a decision. He went on global television, broadcasting to every country in every language. "My name is J1. 6 months ago, I met Princess Valeris. She was curious, kind, and lonely, despite being surrounded by perfection. We connected in a way that transcends species. Now she is crossing hostile space to reach Earth because I promised I would be here." He paused, looking directly into the camera. "Humanity has always believed in freedom. In the right to choose your own path, to love who you love, to live without being forced into a life you do not want. We have fought wars over these principles, written them into our most sacred documents, taught them to our children. Now we face a test. Will we honor those principles when it costs us something? When it is not convenient? When the person seeking freedom is not even human? I am asking you to look at your own lives. Think about the choices you have made, the love you have found, the freedom you have enjoyed. Then ask yourself, would you trade it all for technology? For safety? For comfort? Valeris is risking everything to reach us. The least we can do is have the courage to let her land." The broadcast went viral. Within hours, protests supporting Valeris grew larger. Artists created images of her journey. Musicians wrote songs. Children in schools talked about the alien princess choosing love over duty. But it was not enough. The governments were still divided. Valeris was still running, and Theron was getting closer. Near Mars, Commander Heron finally caught up. Her cruiser cornered Valeris's ship near the Martian moon Phobos. There was no escape this time. Heron's voice came over the communication channel. "Princess Valeris, I have my orders. Power down your vessel and prepare to be escorted home." Karis's hands moved over the controls. "I am home, Heron. Or I will be in a few more days. I respect you. But I have my duty. I have mine. My duty is to live an honest life, to honor the bond I have made, to be more than a symbol or a tool for political games." There was silence. Then Heron said something that shocked everyone monitoring the channel. "I know. I understand. And I am sorry." She fired. The shot struck Valeris's engine core. The ship began falling toward Mars, systems failing, alarms screaming. Valeris fought the controls, trying to adjust her trajectory toward Earth instead of crashing into the red planet. J1 screamed. He felt the impact, felt Valeris's terror and pain. His body convulsed as if he was in the dying ship himself. Dr. Yina held him down while medical teams rushed to help. Through the bond, J1 felt Valeris's thoughts. I am sorry. I tried. Tell him I tried. No. J1 shouted, hold on. You are almost here. Valeris managed to redirect the ship toward Earth, but the damage was too severe. She would not make it to a landing pad. The best she could do was aim for the Pacific Ocean and hope the impact did not kill her. Earth's defense systems tracked the falling ship. Fighter jets scrambled. Rescue teams prepared. The whole world watched as the damaged vessel entered the atmosphere. Burning like a falling star, Ambassador Park Ji-won made the final call. Grant her asylum. Send rescue teams. We are not letting her die in our ocean after coming this far. The ship hit the water hard. The impact sent waves spreading for kilometers. J1 felt Valeris's consciousness fading. Their bond flickered like a candle in the wind. He was already on a rescue helicopter before anyone could stop him. They flew over the crash site. The ship was half submerged, sinking fast. Rescue divers prepared to go in. But J1 did not wait. He jumped. The cold ocean shocked his system. But he swam toward the ship, following the bond like a rope pulling him forward. He dove under into the flooded vessel, into the darkness. His lungs burned. His muscles screamed. But he felt her there, weak, but alive. He found Valeris strapped into the pilot's seat, unconscious, silver blood mixing with seawater. J1 cut her free and dragged her toward the surface. The ship sank behind them, disappearing into the depths. They broke the surface together. Rescue teams pulled them into boats. Medical personnel swarmed around Valeris, checking her vital signs. Applying alien and human medicine in a desperate hybrid approach, J1 held her hand. Through their bond, he poured every bit of strength he had into her, begging her to hold on. Her eyes opened. Those rainbow eyes he had dreamed about for months. She looked at him, lying beside her on the rescue boat, both of them soaked and shivering. I am here, she whispered. I chose you. Please, do not abandon me now. J1 pulled her close, ignoring the medical teams trying to work, ignoring the helicopters overhead, ignoring the whole world watching. Never, he promised. I will never abandon you. Above them, Luminan warships entered Earth's orbit. Theron's voice broadcast across all channels, demanding Valeris's immediate return. The battle was not over. It had just begun. Valeris woke in a white room filled with machines she did not recognize. Human medical equipment mixed with Luminan devices that had been shipped to Earth years ago for research. Dr. Minji stood beside her bed, studying readings with a concerned expression. Where is J1? Valeris asked, her voice weak. In the next room? He refused to leave until he collapsed from exhaustion. The bond between you is stronger than we thought. When you were injured, he felt everything. Valeris tried to sit up, but pain shot through her side. The crash had broken 3 ribs and damaged her telepathic core, the organ luminans used for mental communication. It would heal, but slowly. He saved me, she said softly. You saved each other, Dr. Minji corrected. Your bond kept you both alive when you should have died. We have never seen anything like it. Outside the medical facility, the world was changing. Luminan warships orbited Earth, not attacking, but making their presence clear. Lord Theron had arrived with a delegation, and he was not the gracious diplomat he had been before. He was angry, humiliated, and dangerous. President Soo-jin of Korea met with him in Geneva. The entire conversation was broadcast globally because Theron insisted on transparency. He wanted the world to see Earth's choice. Princess Valeris is mentally unstable, Theron said, his voice calm but his eyes cold. She has been compromised by this human bond. It is a tragedy, not a romance. She needs treatment, not asylum. She seemed very clear about her choices when she spoke before your council, President Soo-jin replied. Clarity and sanity are different things. The bond has damaged her ability to think rationally. This is why we must take her home, cleanse the connection, and restore her true self. Ambassador Park Ji-won leaned forward. And if the cleansing kills her bonded partner, Jae-won is a human citizen. We cannot allow his life to be threatened. Theron smiled without warmth. Then perhaps he should not have entangled himself with someone beyond his understanding. Actions have consequences. In the medical facility, Jae-won listened to the broadcast with growing anger. Valeris held his hand, her grip weak, but determined. Wants to break us apart, she said. The cleansing he mentions is a forced severing of telepathic bonds. It is painful and dangerous, but it would erase our connection completely. Would it work? It would kill you. Our bond is too deep now. Your biology has adapted to accommodate it. Remove it suddenly, and your mind would collapse. Jae-won felt cold. So he is not just trying to take you back. He is trying to kill me while claiming to help you. Yes. Dr. Minji confirmed it later that day. She had completed extensive scans of both of them. The results were shocking. Your bodies are changing to support the bond, she explained, showing them images of their brain scans. Jae-won, you have developed new neural pathways that mirror luminin telepathic structures. Valeris, your biochemistry is shifting to accommodate human emotional ranges. You are becoming something new, something hybrid. Are we sick? Valeris asked. No, you are evolving. But you are also dependent on each other now. Separation would be fatal for Jae-won, and potentially fatal for you. The bond is not just mental anymore. It is physical, biological, essential. This information was presented to the International Council. Some saw it as proof that Valeris and Jae-won had a legitimate connection that should be protected. Others saw it as evidence that the bond was dangerous and unnatural. Public opinion remained divided. Protests continued on both sides. Some humans held signs saying love knows no species. Others shouted Earth first and demanded Valeris be sent away. Theron used this division masterfully. He appeared on news programs, always calm, always reasonable. He offered Earth incredible gifts in exchange for Valeris. New medical technology that could cure cancer. Energy systems that would end climate change. Weapons that would protect Earth from hostile species in the galaxy. All we ask is that you return our princess so she can be healed, he said. Is that not worth these advances? Many governments began to waver. The gifts were too valuable to refuse. Some countries quietly approached Theron with deals. They would help him take Valeris in exchange for exclusive access to certain technologies. Jae-won saw the betrayal coming. He met with Ambassador Park Ji-won in a secure room. They are going to hand her over, he said. I am serious. You have given me months of safety and friendship. You have given me hope. That is enough. I do not want you to die for me. Hyeon-woo met her eyes, all four of them. I'm not planning to die. I'm planning to get both of us through this alive. Trust me, Issa was quiet for a moment, then reached out with one hand and placed it over his. I trust you, Kathora. I always have. The next day was spent in preparation. Hyeon-woo briefed his team personally, making sure everyone understood their roles. Taeyong would carry extra supplies and cover the rear. Park would take point. Subin would stay with Issa and provide medical support if needed. And Hyeon-woo would coordinate everything, keeping them moving and alive. The decoy transport was loaded with security personnel. All of them volunteers who knew what they were getting into. The main bay would be lit up like a celebration, drawing all the attention while Issa slipped away through the shadows as the final hours ticked down. Hyeon-woo checked his weapons one more time. Everything had to be perfect. There would be no second chances. Tomorrow, they would run the gauntlet. Tomorrow, he would keep his promise. Tomorrow, one way or another, it would all be over. The alarm went off at 0300 hours. Hyeon-woo was already awake, sitting in his quarters and checking his gear one final time. His rifle was loaded, his armor sealed, and his mind focused. This was it. The last mission. Get Issa to the transport and keep her alive. Everything else was secondary. He met his team at the staging area. Taeyong looked calm and ready, his heavy frame loaded with supplies and extra ammunition. Park was focused, her rifle held with practiced ease. Subin carried a medical pack along with her sidearm, her expression determined. They were good people, reliable soldiers. If anyone could pull this off, it was this team. Issa arrived, escorted by 2 guards. She wore a simple flight suit, her silver skin seeming to glow in the dim corridor lights. When she saw Hyanwu, some of the tension left her posture. She trusted him. He couldn't let her down. "Everyone knows the plan," Hyanwu said quietly. "We move through the maintenance tunnels to Secondary Bay 7. No stops, no delays. Stay quiet and stay alert. The decoy transport launches in 10 minutes. That's when the extremists will make their move on the main bay. We use the distraction to slip away." Park nodded. "What if they figure out the trick? Then we fight. But let's hope it doesn't come to that." Hyunwoo looked at each of them in turn. "Ready?" "Ready," they said together. The maintenance tunnels were narrow and dark, lit only by emergency strips along the floor. Hyunwoo led the way with Park at point, their weapons raised and ready. Issa stayed in the middle with Subin, her forearms held close to her body to avoid bumping the walls. Taeyang brought up the rear, his heavy footsteps echoing softly in the confined space. They moved in silence, communicating with hand signals when necessary. The tunnels branched and twisted, a maze that most people on the base never saw. But Hyunwoo had memorized the route during his preparation. Studying the maps until he could walk it blind if needed, the sound of distant explosions reached them. The decoy transport had launched, and the extremists were attacking. Hyunwoo heard plasma fire and return fire from the base's defenses. The battle was fierce, exactly as planned. All attention would be on the main bay now. They were halfway to their destination when everything went wrong. A section of the tunnel ahead exploded inward. Metal screamed and twisted as plasma cutters carved through the wall. Velian soldiers poured through the breach, 4 of them in full combat armor. They had known. Somehow, despite the decoy, they had known about the real escape route. "Contact front," Park shouted, opening fire immediately. Her rifle barked, and one of the Velians went down, but the others returned fire. Plasma bolts seared the air, superheated death that could burn through armor in seconds. "Back. Get back." Hyunwoo grabbed Issa and pulled her behind cover as the tunnel erupted into chaos. Taeyong was already firing from the rear position, his heavy weapon keeping the Velians pinned. But they were trapped now, caught between the attackers and a narrow corridor with nowhere to run. Park took a plasma bolt to the shoulder and went down hard. Screaming, Subin was there instantly, dragging her behind cover and working to stabilize the wound. That left Hyunwoo and Taeyong to hold the line. "How many?" Taeyong shouted over the sound of weapons fire. 4, maybe 5. "I can't tell." Hyunwoo fired controlled bursts, trying to conserve ammunition. One shot caught a Velian in the faceplate, and the alien dropped. 2 down, at least 2 more to go. Then Issa did something unexpected. She grabbed the sidearm that Hyunwoo had given her weeks ago during training and moved up beside him. Her forearms allowed her to brace the weapon perfectly while taking cover. She fired, and one of the attacking Velians stumbled back with a cry. "Issa, get back!" Hyunwoo shouted. "No. I will not hide while you fight for me." She fired again, her aim surprisingly accurate. The months of training had paid off. The battle raged for what felt like hours but was probably only minutes. The tunnel filled with smoke and the smell of ozone. Park was still down, Subin working frantically to keep her alive. Taeyong's weapon clicked empty, and he switched to his sidearm without missing a beat. Then Hyunwoo heard it. Footsteps behind them. More attackers coming from the rear. They were completely trapped now, were surrounded. Taeyong called out, confirming his fear. This was it. This was how it ended. Hyunwoo looked at Issa, her 4 eyes meeting his. She looked scared but determined. If they were going to die, at least they would die fighting. Then the cavalry arrived. Commander Ji-won's voice boomed over the comm system. "All units converge on Maintenance Tunnel 7. Hostile breach confirmed." Suddenly, the tunnel was full of human soldiers, pouring in from both directions. The Velian attackers, caught between two forces, tried to fight but were quickly overwhelmed. In less than a minute, it was over. The last attacker fell. The tunnel fell silent, except for the sound of heavy breathing and Subin's urgent medical instructions. Jiwan herself appeared, her armor scored with plasma burns. She must have been in the fight at the main bay. Everyone alive? Park's hit bad, Subin said. But she'll make it if we get her to medical now. Go. Take her and get out of here. Ji-1 looked at Han-Wu. The transport is waiting. The main bay attack failed. Every single extremist that came for the decoy is either dead or captured. This tunnel was their last shot, and they missed. Han-Wu nodded, his legs suddenly feeling weak with relief. Let's move then, before anyone else decides to try their luck. They reached Secondary Bay 7 without further incident. The transport was a small, fast ship, built for speed rather than comfort. The pilot, a serious woman named Yunhei, was waiting at the boarding ramp. We're ready to launch as soon as you're aboard, she said. I've got clearance for immediate departure. Han-Wu turned to his team. Park was being loaded onto a medical stretcher, Subin still working on her. Tae-Yong gave him a tired salute. Good luck, Sergeant. Take care of the kid. And thanks, all of you. And it was just Hyun-Woo and Issa at the boarding ramp. The transport would take her to the neutral station, where she would be safe and could build a new life. But Hyun-Woo's orders ended here. His place was on the base. Issa looked up at him, her 4 eyes bright with emotion. You kept your promise. Again. Always will. Hyun-Woo knelt down so they were at eye level. You're going to do great things, Issa. Your father would be proud of you. He would be proud of you too, for protecting me even when others wanted you to abandon me. For seeing me as a person instead of an enemy. She reached out with one hand and placed it over his heart, a Velian gesture of deep respect. Cathra, that is what you are, and that is what you will always be to me. Before Hyun-Woo could respond, Issa wrapped all 4 arms around him in a tight embrace. He hugged her back, this alien girl who had somehow become something like family to him. When they finally separated, there were tears on her face, clear liquid that ran down her silver skin. Will I see you again? She asked. Maybe the galaxy's smaller than it used to be? And I hear they're starting cultural exchange programs for humans, too. Who knows where I'll end up? Issa smiled through her tears. I hope our paths cross again, Hyun-Woo. In a better time, in a better galaxy. Me too. She turned and walked up the boarding ramp. At the top, she looked back one final time, raised one hand in farewell, and then disappeared inside. The ramp sealed behind her. Hyun-Woo stepped back as the transport's engines fired up. The ship lifted smoothly off the deck, turned toward the hangar doors, and then shot out into space. He watched until it was just another point of light among the stars. You did good, Sergeant, Commander Ji-1 said, appearing beside him. She's safe now. Your mission is complete. Yes, ma'am. But it didn't feel complete. It felt like something ending. Over the next few weeks, life on the base returned to normal. Park recovered from her injuries and was back on duty. Dong Hyun, who had fought alongside them during the final attack, apologized to Hyun-Woo for his earlier prejudice. Seeing Issa fight to protect them had changed his perspective. Jae-soon was court-martialed and sentenced to prison. Hyun-Woo attended the hearing but didn't speak. What was there to say? The man had lost himself to grief and hate. Hyun-Woo understood it, but he couldn't forgive it. 3 years passed. Hyun-Woo served out his enlistment and was offered a promotion. He took it, rising to lieutenant, and eventually being transferred to a diplomatic security detail. The work was different from combat, but it was important. Humanity and the Velians were building peace, slowly and carefully. Then one day, a message arrived through official channels. It was marked as personal, addressed specifically to Lieutenant Hyun-Woo. When he opened it, he found a video file and a text document. The video showed Isa older now, but unmistakably her. She stood at a podium, addressing a large crowd of mixed species. She was speaking about peace, about reconciliation, about the possibility of former enemies becoming friends. The crowd cheered when she finished. The text document was shorter, written in careful Korean. Dear Hyun-woo, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted you to know that I have not forgotten you. I work now with the Galactic Council, helping to build programs that bring our peoples together. Every day I remember what you taught me, that kindness can exist even in war, and that enemies can choose to see each other differently. Thank you, Kathera. Thank you for protecting me when the galaxy wanted me dead. Thank you for showing me that peace was possible. I hope someday we will meet again. Until then, know that you changed my life, and through me, you are changing the galaxy. With gratitude and affection, Issa. Hyun-woo read the message 3 times, then saved it carefully. He walked to the window of his quarters and looked out at the station where he was now posted. Human and Velian ships moved together through space, working side by side. The war felt like a lifetime ago. He thought about Hae-won, about how she would have loved this. A galaxy learning to heal, to move forward. She would have been proud. He thought about Jae-sung, consumed by hate, rotting in a cell because he couldn't let go. And he thought about Issa, that frightened girl who had become a voice for peace. The scars would always remain. Wars didn't end cleanly, and losses never stopped hurting. But maybe, just maybe, they could build something better on top of the ruins. One small act of courage at a time. One soldier and one alien girl who chose to see each other as something more than enemies. Outside his window, the stars shone bright and eternal. Somewhere out there, Issa was making her father's sacrifice mean something. And here, Hyun-woo continued his own work, protecting the fragile peace they had all fought so hard to achieve. The war was over. The real work was just beginning. And for the first time in years, Hyun-woo felt something like hope.